Hey everyone, so here's my trade recap for this week. I only took GJ trades this week because gold's price action was really messy, so I avoided it. Just a bit about the mentorship updates. So thank you to everyone who has submitted their requests. I'll be slowly getting back to you guys according to the dates that you have booked the call with me. So for those who have questions with regards to the mentorship, either drop me an Instagram DM. If not, then there's some information here for you to book the call. So click on this link and then it'll bring you to this button over here when you scroll down, and it will bring you to a booking page. So this call will be free. It's actually conducted over Zoom. I'll ask you a few questions about your trading problems that you're facing and then see how I can help you further from there. Let's move on to the trade recap for this week on all the trades that I've taken. So this was the trade on the 12th of July, Monday. So I see that previously price had already broken structure on the 1 hour above these previous highs. So I was waiting for price to come down and hold this 50% level here. Once I saw that price was creating higher lows and closing above this level, I waited for the next candle to give me another higher low, and I would have made an entry here, but because I was on my calls, I missed this trade. However, the TP would have been set at the 4 hour zones, 50% over at this area here, which was smashed overnight over at this area. So quite a textbook entry, and this trade would have given me about 5R on this long idea. This was the trade on the 13th of July, which I avoided because I saw that the 1 hour didn't have a top wick and neither did the 4 hour, so I avoided the trade because I've seen through my own backtesting that when candles do not have a top wick, they tend to come back up, make another high above the candle with no top wick, and then come down again. So I didn't want to take that chance. But in this case, members in my trading group actually took the trade. So the ideal trade that I saw was actually setting up on the 15-minute. So again, I still would not have taken this because it didn't close outside of my 1 hour sell zone over here. However, we see that price continued to break structure on this area, and then when it came back up to do the retest lower highs, that was the entry to go short, and then this trade ran down for I think almost 10R for the group towards this 15-minute zone that I have marked out over here. So on this trade on the 14th of July, I saw that price had already broken above 1 hour highs, and then when it was coming down to retest, I noticed all these candles closing above my 1 hour area. So what I did was, when this candle actually made a higher low, I entered the trade with my stop loss below this wick. So I sized down on this because I didn't like the fact that this wick actually broke the previous lows. And a second mistake that I made on this trade was that when I aimed a bit further up on my TP to this previous 4 hour zone here, because I missed out looking at this low when it broke this intermediary low. So the key thing for me is, if let's say I had spotted this zone, right, I would not have taken the trade because it doesn't fit my trading rules in terms of RR potential. We see then after that price actually went up, rejected the zone, and after that, this was the short trade that I missed because over on the hourly, once it tapped into the zone, closed below, and it created the lower highs, this was actually the better trade to take in line with overall bearish trend. So as we can see here, the trend, lower highs, lower lows. So this was actually, going long was actually a counter trend trade, so I should have been a bit more careful, especially with this 4 hour zone here, and hence I missed the shorts coming down. So we can then see on the shorts that after these lower highs were made, entry should have been around this area with the stop loss above that rejection wick, and then since this zone was already gone, I would have been aiming my TP for this area here, down towards this previous 4 hour zone, or even this 1 hour zone over at this point in time, for about 11R on this trade. So this was a bad miss on my part because I missed out this 4 hour zone here. So this could have been a potential 11R. And on the long trade, because I was managing it as price was going up on the 15-minute, once I saw that this area here actually closed above all this structure, I was trailing my stop loss to somewhere below these lows. So this trade ended up netting me about 1R overall. This was the trade taken on the 15th of July. So first I saw this 1 hour rejecting these wicks over here. So what I was waiting for was a top wick to be created somewhere around the 50% area before I took it down. So I then went down to the lower time frames. So in this case I had to use the 1 minute time frame because the structure was clearer on this time frame. So when I saw that price came up and respected this area here, I made my entry short from here and then came down. So management of my trade was done with my TP all the way at the 1 hour zone below. So if I were to go back to the 1 hour, this was the zone that I was aiming. So on this area here, I was managing the trade on the 15 minute. So once I saw that price actually broke structure, I trailed my stop loss up above these highs and then I just let the trade run overnight. So overall this trade netted me about 20 plus R on this with about a 4 pip stop loss. This was the trade on the 16th of July. So I saw that price actually came up and then retested. After breaking these lows, we tested to this zone over here, which was a 1 hour zone. Because this candle actually closed a little into my zone, the entry that I can see could either have been taken on the 1 hour after the lower highs were created. If not, then the entry that I took was actually on the 15 minute. As we can also see that same lower highs being created, I took it with my entry here with my stop loss above these 1 hour highs. So I was looking to TP at the 4 hour zone because this area here on the hourly wasn't very clear as a zone for price to bounce off. Plus I was thinking that since I was trading with the overall bearish trend, it should be able to break through this area. However, we see that after that, on the 15 minute, structure was a lot clearer. So as price came down into this area over here, it started to respect the lows, creating multiple rejection wicks, and I could have come out of the trade a bit earlier, but I was trading my stop loss once price actually broke the lows above these highs. So when this candle actually created a higher low, I should have secured some profits since this was actually a 15 minute and 1 hour zone, and then I end up getting stopped in full on my trailed stop loss. So this one was overall, I would consider it as a very small win only. Looking at the R, I think I ended up with only about 1 R on the trade instead of the expected 15. So I should have been a bit more careful with this minor structure breakover at these highs here on the 1 hour zone, and I should have paid a bit more attention to these wicks that were rejecting from these areas as well. And once it made the higher lows, I should have already secured some profits from there. So this was the mistake that I made on this trade. So on this trade, because I was trading short, I missed out on this long opportunity towards my 1 hour zone area that I have drawn up here. Since price had already tapped this area, I was expecting a deeper retracement, plus the short-term trend was actually bullish and we were trading and creating high lows at this point in time. So what I could have done on this trade was actually, once it flipped bullish, enter the trade, stop loss below the wicks, and then just taken the trade up. So we see that the TP was just smashed within one move. So this could have been a nice 5R trade that I missed. So yeah, that was my week, reviewing my own trades for the 12th to 16th of July. Again, if you have any questions, just hit me up on the IG DMs. If not, then drop a comment on the YouTube description below. If not, then have a good weekend.